Remember how I said that the griffons acted as mercenaries during the war? Well, they never really stopped doing that after the world blew up. I guess it's just in their nature. What? That's not offensive to say. Ask any cool pony about pre-war griffons and they'll tell you that they were real meanies. The griffons stayed out of the war on an official level, with mercenary activities that most of their population was undertaking not being sanctioned by their government. Because of this, and because the griffons were seen as a valuable asset to both sides, there were no mega spells aimed at the Skyfeather Republic. Griffonstone, being in equestrian territory, was not so lucky though. They were destroyed in the blast with the exception of those who made it to their local stable. Yet, the Republic still flourishes even today. Part of the reason that they flourish and haven't been attacked by the factions crazy enough to try it are the Talon mercenaries, known as the unofficial training method of the Republic. Recruits are sent out into the wasteland and expected to survive and operate as mercenaries for 5 years before returning home and taking their place in society. You might think that that's a barbaric practice and, well, it absolutely is. But it's created what I'd wager to be the strongest nation in the world. Now, the Equestrian Wasteland is home to hundreds of Talon mercenaries, all operating for whoever buys their contract. Now, it's possible you've met older Talons who definitely don't like young recruits cutting their beaks in the wasteland. Sometimes veteran Talons will return to Equestria, hiring themselves alongside younger teams to earn a fast payday, or because they simply prefer it here. Either way, it's entirely possible you'll find that Talon companies are headed up by much more experienced fighters. Some have even been known to never return to their homeland, starting families in Equestria and raising them as Talons. So if your town can afford to hoof the bill and you urgently need protection, or if you're maybe living in a young exposed settlement, I'd highly recommend hiring a company of Talons to watch your backs. Same goes for adventurers or saviors of the wasteland trying to make their way or free the region from evil. There's no shame in having a heavily armed group of birdies behind you. At this point, you're probably asking, Ditzy, you dits, how can I hire a Talon if I don't know where to find them? And to that, I'd probably blow raspberry at you with what remains of my tongue and tell you I was about to get to that. I can be very immature sometimes. Sometimes you might be lucky enough to happen upon a group of Talon mercs as you travel the wastes. Sometimes they'll broadcast a meeting location over the radio for ponies to find them. But why rely on a lucky chance when a short trip to the far east of Equestria, where the iron-pierced ruins of Griffonstone will lead you to Ironstand, the tainted home of the Talon Company mercenaries? I'm not certain why they chose to name their new home as they did, but I suppose they have a strange sense of humor. There are 2 ways of reaching Ironstand if you're looking to hire Talons: the Trottingham Bridge and Horseshoe Bay. Unfortunately, between you and both these routes are 2 nasty cities. Up north, before you reach the bridge, you'll have to pass through Manhattan. Yeah, sorry about that. If you haven't heard the stories of Manhattan by now, then take a look around the book and you'll find the chapter on it. So, provided you can get through that route, you're gonna find yourself at the Griffin Coast with at least 2 days' journey down to Ironstand. Luckily, the effects of the megaspell that detonated there, spearing shards of iron through the ground and coating the lands with the stuff, you won't find any pony bothering you on that trip. The second route is to the south, Horseshoe Bay. And, of course, the city between you and it is Philadelphia, slaver capital. Our friendly leader, Red Eye, and his slavers live in that city. My suggestion is to circle around the west of the city, keeping your head down until you've circled to Baltimore. Once you make it to Horseshoe Bay, you'll be safe. The Talons have the whole area locked up nice and tight. The ponies living there hired them to keep the region safe. Ask nicely, and they'll take you on the trek across the still sea right into Ironstand. Now, even if you have no plan on hiring a Talon, I'd suggest familiarizing yourself with the white Talon logo worn on their armor. Not all Talons are hired by townsfolk and merchants, so it's important to know the difference between the group of raiders you're about to ambush that have a griffin in their group and the group of raiders you're about to ambush that have a Talon in their group. I'm not saying they're unkillable death birdies, but they're tougher than your average raider, so just look after yourselves. Love, Ditzy.